journeys, challenges, and success stories from renowned expert in their respective field with me, Novia Zahra, as your host today. And of course, I'm not alone here because I continue with my partner as a co-host,
Siti Salima Akmalia.
and together we will be engaging in a stimulating conversation of two young achievers that have gone viral on the TikTok. The first one, because he is a good public speaker, and the other one, she was a good innovator and modern lecturer. So do you know who are they, Ima?
Wow, I don't know. Who are they?
Let's welcome to our special guest in this occasion, Mr. Luthfi and Miss Zulva. Okay.
Okay, absolutely. It is an honor to have you here, guys. Let's start by having you both introduce yourselves to our listener because maybe they want to know about you guys. So, could you please tell us about your background and current roles in academic and public speaking?
Of course. First thing first, thank you so much for Miss Novia and Miss Ima for having me in this great and awesome podcast. That's the name, Bluebook'S Podcast. I think you are who watching this video already know who I am. My name is Luthfi Luqmansyah, as known as Mr. Luthfi. I'm currently working as a public speaker, and also I'm teaching at junior high school levels, and also I have as an owner for some businesses. And my primary focus is in becoming a speaker in various events such as webinars and workshops. And then I spend much of my time is in giving talks and engaging various academic and professional communities. And about introduction about the public speaking, I think public speaking is one of an extension of my passion in about sharing knowledge and dialogue in front of many people. I think that's all.
What about you, Miss? Thank you for the time, Miss Ima and Miss Zulva. I'm Zulva Safira. I teach English education at Indonesia University of Education. I'm known as a modern lecturer because I try to use innovative teaching approach, integrating technology and prioritizing interactive two-way communication with my students. Wow, both of you have such impactful roles in academia. So guys, trust me, this episode you want to miss this. It's clear that both of you are involved in a wide range of activities. Let's begin maybe with you're currently working on. So, what are some of your significant responsibilities or maybe project that you are working on?
Mr. Luthfi, before that, I want to ask you, as a speaker and thought leader, how do you juggle or balance the speaking engagement with your academic work? What are your current focuses?
I see, such a great question. But for that, actually, I do really grateful for becoming a busy person right now.
Wow, busy person, guys.
And my current schedule is quite dynamic. Aside from regular speaking engagement as a public speaker, I also working as a teacher, as a second language, English as second language teacher at Bangsa Junior High School. How do I balance? I balance my work. I start to commit my speaking engagement with ongoing academic work. I ensuring stay grounded in both areas, and yeah, I think the thing that can we do is creating some to-do list, and then we can set a scale priorities and what should we do first, so we can clear our confusion first. I think it's
Wow. Yeah, I think you make a to-do list first before you gonna do something.
yeah, scale prioritize
considerable success in your respective field. And could you share about your stories of your journey with us or to listeners? That what was the catalyst that led you to pursue your faith, and what the key of the experiences that shaped your career for now?
Okay, Mr. Luthfi, you've built a successful as a speaker right now. Then could you mind to tell us what the key moments or influence that lead you to choose this path?
About key moments in the journey, I think it's a really a long journey, and there are two moments that influence me to the most. What makes me become at this point right now. I began with deep interest in speaking since I was in a junior high school. When I was becoming a master of ceremony at graduated even at my school. And the second moment is when by the way, I do really like writing anything about essay, articles, about story, about anything. And during the writing time, I realized I combine this writing interest skills with speaking skills, so I can transfer many ideas that I have brought before into the many people.
Yes, I'm also interested in your story, which is started from you only being master of ceremony from your graduate in junior high school, and until finally you can now become a great speaker, and also which led you to your current situation like now. I think we just do small thing first because we never know in the future that give us a big impact for our future. So, with Miss Zulva, what's about you? What initially that inspired you to enter in this field of education, and how did your journey lead you to become a good teacher, or maybe inspiring like to learn like now?
Okay, firstly, when I begin, I realized that conventional methods weren't effective for today's students. They prefer interactive and relevant learning methods. So from there, I started experimenting with new approaches. And second, my experience as both as a student and an educator shaped my teaching philosophy, which is focused on active learning and student engagement.
Yes, what is it? That when we, as an educator, like you said before, that what is it, should be active learning for students because it can make students engage their, what is it,
Learning process.
learning process and for the public speaking. Guys, every success story has its share of challenges. So they are too. So, Mr. Luthfi, what were some obstacles that you are faced in your early career, or before you became a renowned speaker? Were there any challenge in gaining, recognizing, or finding your voice in film?
Obviously, there was a lot of challenge that I faced during the process becoming a speaker, such as the transition from the academic research into the engaging the audience from a broader audience is not very easy. It was so difficult for me, and I need to hone my academic public communication skill and find way better to connect the audience from diverse backgrounds, and then From the diverse audience, it was very significant challenge. However, above all these challenges, the persistence is the key to persistent and continuous learning is a key to achieve or contributing this recognition.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Luthfi. I think it is important to recognize that the transition from academic to public speaking is often not as seamless as it may appear. And then the challenge that you face in establishing credibility and then refining your communication skill resonate with many who seek in engage with their audiences.
Right. We must be learning and learning. And to Miss Zulva, as you know, Miss Zulva as an educator that I wanna ask you what were some of the challenges you encountered before finding your teaching style or philosophy, and what were the difficulties you faced early in your academic career?
For me, the challenge was adapting to technology, and for the difficulty, I think building trust with students. And students were sometimes skeptical with new method, and I had to prove that my approaches were genuinely effective.
Yeah, I think you not only can use a traditional method, we can use the digital tools. As we can see, we can use the PowerPoint for our learner in class or the student or maybe the student university, because that can help us to deliver our material more interesting and more engage the students.
Those are valuable insight from both of you guys. So, Mr. Luthfi, looking back at the challenge that you face, what advice would you give to someone that who is trying to overcome their obstacle in their own career or public speaking endeavors?
This key of advice, I guess, just enjoy the process and embrace every failures and challenge that comes to you. That's that. And because every challenge and failure that comes to you is an opportunity to make you grow better. And then you might seek regularly feedback from the others and be open yourself to improving. And the last one is you might surround yourself with the mentors and then peers that offers you constructive criticism. It has become more to make you more faster and better in learning process. So that's all. Enjoy and embrace.
Wow, that's incredibly valuable advice, Mr. Luthfi. So I think embracing failure that you said before, that embracing failure as a learning opportunity is a critical concept both in academic or professional development. And then from your advice, reinforce the idea that perseverance, coupled with openness learning, is key to overcoming that challenges in any field.
Yeah, I like your word that embrace failures is a part of learning process, and above all, that our passions are crucial in overcoming through our obstacles. And Ms. Zulva, what would you recommend that for those or maybe to listeners who are struggling with teaching challenges or feeling uncertain about their faith in academia?
Okay, the first I will share how I overcome my challenge. The first for technology, I joined workshop and I asked for help from colleagues who were more experienced, and I also involved students into learning process, making them feel they had an active role that make them more open to new method. So here are the advice for me. I think stay curious and don't be afraid to take a risk and experiment with new approaches.
Yeah, as I know, there is someone saying like, take the risk or you'll lose the change.
Yes. Okay, as both of you have some experiences in speaking and teaching skill, so maybe could you want to share some practical tips for our audiences? What is it about speaking or teaching skill, especially when delivering content in English?
Yeah, maybe you can share your tips and tricks that for our listeners who are once looking to improve their public speaking, of course, in English, especially in academic context.
Tips and tricks about improving English public speaking and teaching, right?
Right.
I think the clarity is key and a main point. It's very essential. Try to focus on articulating your voice and ideas in a straightforward manner and avoiding overly use of a complex language unless it's necessary, because it can lead the audience into misunderstanding, right? And then you might practice in the clarity, practicing your speaking maybe in front of your mirror, practicing speaking slowly and clearly. And yeah, always be careful and be mindful when you are in the speaking. Be mindful of your audience level of understanding.
Yeah, I strongly agree with your line that you said before. Clarity is the key, and focus on articulating your ideas in a straightforward manners, and of course, avoiding of like complex language unless necessary. Because practice make perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's very
Okay,
true.
that's right. Okay. And for you, Miss Zulva, what strategies can educators use to improve their speaking and teaching skill, especially for non-native speaker or maybe student from diverse linguistic background?
One effective strategy is to incorporate visual aid and interactive element to reinforce your spoken word. This also helps students more better. Additionally, creating interactive environment that can support students to improve their communication and make them what's that? Comfortable when they ask.
Yes, that exactly. It's right. What is it? What? I think effective teaching and learning is not about delivering content, but what is it? But it about creating a comfortable environment that makes students comfortable to feel comfortable, and then brave to ask and then to speak about in English to make student engage their public speaking.
Okay, guys, as we wrap up and you have a great answer for our question in sessions. So for the this is the final session. So can you share your final thoughts or message for our listeners, those who are inspired to succeed in public speaking both of education field or maybe another field? Please share it to us.
Oh yeah, I remember this quote. The quote sounds like this: "The success is journey, not destination. So stay committed to your goals and enjoy every process of your learning, and then embrace the challenge and failure, and then continuously seek every opportunities to learn and grow more better and faster. And then next one is your voice. Your voice and your ideas is matter. So don't be afraid to speak up.
What about you, Miss?
Teaching and learning are lifelong process, and I remember this quote: "Don't be afraid to have big dream, but remember, dream without action are meaningless. So keep moving forward."
Okay, as we can see, maybe I can say them like influencer because they have the ability to influence many people in social media. And of course, I hope you can useful for many people, as we know, because we invite them because they are viral in the TikTok. Yeah, so I hope you can valuable can deliver your knowledge from your content. Okay, thank you both so much for joining us today. Your insight and experiences have been incredibly inspiring. We are sure our listeners have gained valuable knowledge for our discussion in this occasion.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you both here. Thank you for sharing and wisdom with us. We look forward to seeing all the great work and you'll continue in you do in the future.
Okay, thank you for having me, Miss Ima and Miss Novia.
My
It's
pleasure.
been a wonderful conversation, and this discussion is very memorable.
And yeah, for me, I think big thanks also from me for inviting me in this excellent podcast, Bluebook's, and was such an inspiring and very memorable occasion.
Okay, and thank you to our listeners also that for tuning in today.
We hope you enjoyed the discussion.
Until next time,
Stay curious and
keep
streaming
streaming
for
for
excellence.
And thank you for watching also. I'm Novia Zahra
And Siti Salima.
and our special guest.
And I'm Luthfi Luqmansyah.
And I'm Zulva.
And last we say, see you